Guys, it's Lev from Levram Gaming back with another Bloons Tower Defence 6 video. Let's finish up the last quarry video. Intermediate quarry, hard, half cash. Let's get into it. Alrighty, we are going to use Sauda with this half cash escapade. But to start with, we're going to pop out our free dart monkey. He can get a few pops for us. A couple might leak through. It's not going to be massive. We just want to save up, get her out, so then we can save up for a proper tower. And like I've harped on in all my videos previously, Sauda has camo detection from level 1, makes it super useful on these hard, pain in the bum maps. I did actually have another half cash strategy. That's why I've already got the black border, but it relies too much on RNG. And I don't like that. I don't like putting videos out for you guys when something's highly reliant on ability being ready or using it at the exact right time. So we're not going to worry about that today. I've found a much easier way to get through this pain in the butt half cash. Let me know in the comments. I'd love if I had polls, but I need 1,000 subs for that. So would you rather play chims or would you rather play half cash? Because straight up, for me, I'd play chimps over half cash any day of the week. I actually genuinely avoid playing half cash. It's a pain in the butt. Alright, let's put our wizard monkey up the top here. We want him up the top purely because we want to get Wall of Fire. Wall of Fire is an incredible, cheap upgrade. For the amount that it costs and the amount of balloon pops it can do, ridiculously good. But the reason being, I should get to my point. I want Wall of Fire to be on this top part of the track, and it's a pain if you put the wizard on the right hand side of Sauda here. Depending on where you place him, how you place him, he sometimes puts most of the time he puts the Wall of Fire on the bottom track, and we don't want that. We want the Wall of Fire on the top part of the track. It'll make more sense. Why? Once I build our second tower. So in the meantime, we'll just let these guys crunch out our 1,000 gold for our Wall of Fire. And they should be able to do it. We shouldn't have a problem with these two here. We should be able to get Wall of Fire, no problems. Sauda can pop that first green balloon, that green camo that comes out. Then our wizard, we can always go our bottom path, which we might not worry about this game. Might go a top path with the wizard for some extra popping power. This is what we want here. We want this up here. I reckon we go guarded magic. Let's go arcane blast. And we'll get our wizard. He can get a few pops this game. Most of the time I'd go the bottom path so he gets the camo detection. But I reckon dart monkey coming in clutch at the end there. Now, the second tower that we want to put in is a Dartling gunner. Sounds funny, but I'm trying to make it relatively easy. Half cash, you're always going to have to use abilities because abilities are worth so much. They're worth so much. You could call it like their monetary value, because abilities don't cost anything unless you're playing a Zealy where one of her abilities costs 10 lives. They don't cost anything and you still get the massive amount of damage that they output. So abilities are super useful on half cash mode. Let's get focus firing. We want him just at the bottom of the waterfall here, just so we don't waste any darts. Just there, I reckon. And then let's get... our Dartling gunner's going to have our camo detection. So we'll get our faster barrel spin. There we go. There's our fast barrel spin. And then we'll try and get these Hydra rocket pods as soon as we can, because it's such a massive upgrade on this tower. The DPS out of the rocket pods are huge. The one thing I probably should say now is, yes, we have to use abilities. So there's a little bit of micro in this game. There are macro, I should say, in this game. But it's all common sense based. You don't necessarily have to use a particular ability on a particular round at an exact right moment. It's more so when the balloons are starting to break through, use a bunch of the abilities that we're going to have available when you think the time's right. And then you can always just, worst comes to worst, pause the round if for whatever reason the abilities freaked out, used all the abilities at the same time, and a couple balloons leak through. Alrighty guys, now what we want to do is we have our Moab coming out next round. If we can, we want to unlock this Dragon Breath upgrade. Dragon Breath upgrade is huge. Also does a massive amount of damage to Moabs. If we time it correctly, should have just enough. There it is. Alright, if we need to, we'll play this slowly. If we need to, we're going to have our Dartling gunner, so we can take him off, but we use Sauda's ability here. Clean up them. There it is, round 40. Normally not a pain in the butt. In half cash, it's a straight up pain in the butt. There we go, there's round 40 done. Now we can work on getting our Hydra rocket pods. Because this guy here, the Dragon's Breath, he is going to do a bunch of damage for us. Look how easy he takes down all those balloons. We'll put him on first. Then he can follow a couple of the balloons around if he needs to. We've almost got our Hydra rocket pods. Essentially, the way I see it, from rounds 40 to 50, you've actually just got like 10 free rounds for making money, because you're not going to see a Moab in those 10 rounds. So if you didn't know that, if you're farming, particularly if you're farming, great time to finish off or get out a bunch of farms. English. Great time to get a bunch of farms out in those 10 rounds. They do fly past super fast, so be mindful of that. Now, in this instance, you're going to have double the amount of cash of what I've made in these 10 rounds, so you don't make 5k, you make double that. Alright, how are we looking? I reckon we'll get our laser shock. I reckon we might have to slightly adjust our Dartling gunner here. Perfect. So that's a neat little trick. What we did is we put his targeting just below where it says that he can't shoot through. This is with all Dartling gunners. If you do that, if you put their targeting just before where they say they can shoot through, they can actually then shoot through that obstacle. So the amount of DPS we're going to get now by him shooting up through that wall, that's going to help us out massively. And we've almost got Rocket Storm. Just add it to our ability collection. Rocket Storm's great, especially where we've got him at the moment. There we go. Get him shooting through. Make sure we're hitting those Moabs as they come out. Dark Monkey saved the day for us. And I reckon the next one we get is our Summon Phoenix. Always good. Round 60 coming up. Have all those abilities ready. Look, we've got 3 abilities essentially now. All this button does is allow us to hit number 2 on the keypad, and then we can control where our Dartling gunner shoots. But I'm not a massive fan of that. I'm lazy. I like just set his targeting and then let him run. And at the moment, it's not so bad. Round 60, we might have to use a few abilities here. Hydropods take down those camo leads easily. I reckon we'll use our Phoenix. And then as they get close, we didn't need to, but we did have our rocket pods available. And like I was saying before, with this strategy, it's more just using the abilities when you think they're required, rather than spamming them out all the time. When they start to break through, you've got your Phoenix, you've got Sauda's ability that can wipe the whole screen. Like now, perfect time to use our Phoenix here. Not very stressful. Round 63. We're going to have to use a few other abilities, I would reckon, because the big waves that come through here. Sauda's ability, clean all them up, and then we have our Phoenix again. And worst case, we've got our rocket pods and Sauda's other ability to use. So that's why this strategy in half cash is so good. Now, the next guard we want to use. Should we put him at the top, potentially? This is going to be our undead army. Probably use our Phoenix here. Get a bunch of DPS out. I haven't even been able to show you guys our rocket pods yet. I mean, Wall of Fire is going to be pretty good. Yeah, look at that placement. And he'll send the balloons and give them, get rid of that camo that they have on them. So either way, super good to place him up there. And that trick that we have with that Dartling gunner shooting through here, massive amount of DPS boost. We use our rockets. I want to try and show you guys the rockets, but we haven't had to use them so far, which is not a bad thing. I just wanted to use them a bit more. I shouldn't complain. We got 10 rounds to go. Like I said, this strategy is way easier than the other strategies that I've come across. Look at the pops that this guy's getting already. We have all these abilities lined up if we need. And I reckon what we'll do now is let's make him stronger again. Not that he isn't getting enough DPS out, but let's get him get more. Even get more DPS out. Because the more DPS out he has out, the less macro that we have to do. Look at him go. Absolutely crushing this half cash. And every time we get a big balloon brush like this, our Necro here just absolutely poleaxes them. Such a cheap, awesome tower the Necro is. Up this guy again, stronger stimulant. And we'll have a little bit of leftover cash, to be honest. We don't really need much more, I don't think. We've got all these abilities saved up now. Use our Phoenix here. Make sure none sneak through. And if you guys are playing by yourself, these around 70, so probably 75 plus, I would stop playing it on fast forward. Just play it like a regular speed. Make sure you don't get rushed. Because when I was recording this last time, I got rushed in these. I think it was round 76 I got rushed. And it was just a pain because I just had to go through and do the recording again. But for the sake of your sanity, just play these last couple rounds at normal speed. And then you don't have to go through what I went through. The best thing about the Phoenix upgrade, it's on such a short cooldown, so you can use it all the time. So we use it now. Got our rocket pods. Oof, there it is. Got Sauda's ability here if we need. So both of Sauda's ability here. And we've got our Phoenix. We might use our Phoenix. It's going to speed the round up. It's going to get lots of DPS out on these reinforced balloons. Use our rocket pods. Not the super effective, but I want to try and use them before the game runs out. Phoenix here again, because that ability is just up all the time. We'll let it get down a little bit further. Now we'll use our rocket pods. Use Sauda's ability. Cleans it all up. Happy days. Half cash. Quarry. Black bordered. Every single map done. It's lev out. I'll see you in the next one.